how to detect elements. Once you have reached Gmail, you have to detect the username field and all that stuff. Okay, we need to see that. All right, but before that, I need to tell you something about the concept of profiling in Firefox. In Mozilla Firefox, there is something known as the concept of profiling. Fine. See, if I run my program, a browser will open up. Right. But this Firefox browser which opens up, okay, it's not a regular Firefox which is there in your machine. If you look at this Firefox, it will not have, it got closed. Hold on. Just a minute. Just a minute. Look, Firefox which gets opened up is not a regular Firefox. Okay, it's like a fresh Firefox which is installed in your machine. Fine. If you open this Firefox, I'll open it again. Fine. Hold on. It's opening. Just a minute. Yeah. So if this Firefox, if you look at the bookmarks, it will not have the bookmarks which you have in your regular Firefox. It will not have the add-ons, the settings which you have on the regular Firefox. If you look at the history, it will not have the complete history which you have. Okay. It's like a fresh Firefox which is installed on your machine. Okay. The reason for this is that the reason or the explanation for this is that there is something known as profiling concept in Firefox. Okay, when you open up a Firefox through Selenium, right, you create a new profile and you open it. Okay, altogether a new profile is created. Now what is a profile? Fine, look, for example, you use your PC and your friend also uses your PC. Okay, you want that when you open Firefox, you should see your set of settings in Firefox, your set of bookmarks, your set of plugins. Fine. And when your friend opens the Firefox, he should see his set of settings, his set of plugins, his set of all the configurations in Firefox. Okay, so this can be achieved through the concept of Firefox profiling. Okay, you can write over here the command firefox.exe-p profile manager. Okay, this command will open up this kind of a window. Okay, but before this, make sure you close all the Firefox browsers on your machine. Okay, by saying that you close all the Firefox browsers on your machine, I mean to say that you have to close them from File Exit menu. Okay, you have to close the Firefox from File Exit menu, not from the cross. Okay, and then give the command firefox.exe-p profile manager. Okay, and then you will get a window like this. All right, I'll give you the command over Skype chat. Okay, sorry, WebEx chat, right? Now you can create a new profile. Okay, I can create a new profile like my profile. Finish and start this profile. So this will launch a fresh Firefox on the machine, right? And it will be like a brand new Firefox. Okay, hold on. See that. It started a fresh profile. This profile is like a brand new Firefox which is there on your machine. Okay, right. So just a minute, guys. I'll give them. Right. So this is like a brand new Firefox which is installed on your machine. It will have no bookmark, no plugin, nothing. Suppose what I do is that I go to google.com, fine, and I bookmark this page. Fine. So in bookmarks, I will have Google. Google will be displayed in the bookmarks. Fine. All right. Now, if I run the code of Selenium, okay, if I run this code, fine, you will see that the Firefox which opens is not having Google in the bookmark. This is the reason is that when you write new Firefox driver, programmatically Selenium internally it creates a brand new profile and launches it. The steps which you did manually over here, you wrote the command firefox.exe-p profile manager and started a profile. Programmatically, Selenium creates a new profile of Firefox, starts it, and when you close the browser, that profile is gone. Okay. So at times you want that Selenium should not create a new profile. It should open an existing profile. For example, I have got this profile, my profile which I just created. I want to launch that. The reason being that, look, at times you have got situations in Selenium. For example, you want to download files with Selenium. Okay. Or with Selenium, you want to manage certificate errors. All right. Or you want to work on a proxy. So in those situations, profiling helps us a lot. All right. So the concept of profiling is in Mozilla. Okay. And it helps a lot in those kinds of scenarios. Fine. So we need to understand how to ask Selenium to open up an existing profile from our machine. These are the existing profiles on my machine. I can create new ones as well. I want Selenium to open, say, my profile. Okay, so how do you do that? To do that, let me create a new Java project. Okay, I'll create a new Java project day 3 and I'll go to the properties and add the jar file for Selenium. Okay, and now I'll create a new class known as profiling. You want to do profiling with Selenium, you want to ask Selenium not to open an existing profile, but sorry, not to open a new profile, but to open an existing profile. Okay, look, to understand the concept of profiling, fine, first of all, you need to understand the concept of constructor in Java. Okay, right. So I'll first explain you the concept of constructor and then I'll explain you how you open the existing profile. Right. Suppose I have a class known as say house. Okay. Right. House class has got parameters like string number, string street, string say city. Okay, right. Now suppose if I create a new class, I'll just call it as create house. Fine. This is the client class. I'll have the main function in it. Okay. In this create house class, right, I will write house, say h1 equals to new house. Okay. Then h1 dot, say I'll write number is 100. Okay. Okay, it's a string. I'll just put it in a string. Then h1 dot street is, say, street A. h1 dot city is, say, city X. Right. Okay. Now I create another object h2. Okay. The overhead which I will be having with me is that for every object which I create, I have to give 3 parameters. I have to initialize 3 parameters for every object which I create. If I have to create 10 objects of this class house, then with every object I will have to write 3 lines which will be initializing the state of the object. Okay, right, this is just the creation of the object, but by writing these lines we initialize the state. Okay, the state of the object, we initialize the parameters in the object. Okay, but this is a overhead, right? So we need to have a shortcut mechanism in which I can initialize the object as well. Okay, and that is provided with the concept of constructors in Java language. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that in my house class, I'm going to create a constructor. A constructor is nothing but it helps you to initialize the object. Okay, the constructor will have this name same as the name of the class. The name of the class out here is house. So the name of the constructor will also be house. The name of the class and the name of the constructor should be matching. Okay, they should not be different. And it's not a function, it's got no return type, void, or it is not returning you anything. Alright. Inside the constructor, if I write system.out.println in constructor, alright, and if I go to my create house class, and if I run my create house class, you will see that in constructor is printing two times. The reason being that whenever you create the object of the house class, constructor is called. You are creating 2 objects of the house class. So 2 times constructor is called. If I create 2 more objects out here, fine. Is my screen okay, guys? I hope there is no delay or break in the voice. My net is little slow. I hope it's okay. Right? So if I write new house 2 times, fine. And if I run this code, see, it will print in constructor 4 times. Because whenever you create the object, the control goes to the constructor. Alright. So we can have another constructor like public house which accepts number, street and city. Okay, in this constructor what we'll do is that when we create the object of the house class, Okay, we'll pass over the parameters on the fly, that is 300 comma C comma Z. So I am sending the house number, the street address and the city inside this constructor. Out here when I write like this, then automatically Java will understand that you have to call this particular constructor. It will pass over these three parameters over here, and over here you can write number equals to N, street equals to S, and city equals to C. So you initialize number, street and city for the object in the constructor. Okay, right. So if I write over here system.out.println h3 dot number, and if I run this will print 300. So I don't have to initialize h3 like this. I can simply call the constructor which accepts number, street and city. Okay, and the object will be initialized automatically. Inside it I am writing. So this way I can initialize any number of objects on the fly. H4, H5, I can give them a different house number. Okay, a different street, Z1, Z2. So different parameters I can give in. So every object will be initialized differently. So I don't have to write separate lines to initialize the object. So this is what a constructor does. Fine. Okay. I hope I got your I'm able to tell you, right? So you are able to understand as well, right? So this is what the constructor does. Fine. Now when we create the profile, when you use the profiling concept, okay, right, if you look at this Selenium, if you look at Selenium and if you look at the documentation, look, you can import the documentation of Selenium in Eclipse as well. Okay, I think I didn't tell you how to do that, right? You can go to the website seleniumhq.org. Fine. First of all, let me tell you how you can import the documentation of Selenium in Eclipse. That will help you. Go to the download section. Okay, this is the Java doc link. This is the documentation of Selenium. Fine. You click on this link, the next page will open up, right? And you copy the link location. Fine. And you go out here and go to your project, right click on the project. Fine. And go to the library section. In the library section, you will have the main Selenium jar file. This is the main jar file of Selenium. Just a minute. This one. Okay, Selenium Java 2.x.jar. Right. So expand this jar and you will have the option Java doc location, which will be none. You can edit it and paste the location of the Java doc, and also remove index.html from the end. Okay, please remove index.html from end. Only give this location. I'll ping you the location on WebEx chat. Okay, and click on OK and click on OK. That's it. Okay, look, can you just double click on your screen? Your screen will maximize and the font size will increase. Like, I have a very huge font in front of me right now in my system. Just double click on your WebEx screen. Okay, it will maximize. Alright, if still it doesn't happen, then let me know. Okay, now if I have added the Java docs, right, if I move my mouse over any element now, just a minute, hold on. Right, suppose if I write WebDriver, hold on, driver equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, if you hit Control Shift and O of keyboard, everything will be imported in one go. Control Shift O. Right. Now, if you move your mouse over anything, if I move my mouse over Firefox driver, okay, I will get the detailed description or of Firefox driver. This is the constructor we are using. Or if I move my mouse over WebDriver, I will get the detailed description about the WebDriver. Okay. If I click anywhere on the links over here, the documentation itself will open up inside Eclipse. Fine. You can switch over to this frames view. There will be a frames view. Okay, you can switch over to the frames view. You will have different frames and the same documentation will open up over here. Okay, right. Now you will find the class Firefox driver which we are talking about, and in the documentation you will see that there are different type of constructors for Firefox driver. Okay, we will be talking about these constructors. Okay, to increase the font size of. Okay, I'll refer the documentation itself, or hold on. Okay, I'll just look at the original documentation. Right, in the original documentation, if you look at the Firefox driver class, then as I told you, it's got a lot of constructors. One of the constructors accepts the object of Firefox profile class. Firefox profile is an internal class which denotes a profile, and we just saw, okay, we just saw that the concept of profiling, right, wherein whenever you create the object of Firefox driver, a new profile is created. What I wanted was that when I want to open up my profile, which I just had created in front of you, okay, right. So for that, we'll have to write a code like this. Okay, we'll have to create the object of the class known as profiles ini. This is an internal class in Selenium. Okay, hold on. This class represents all the Firefox profiles on your machine. Okay, when you create this class object, all the Firefox profiles are loaded. Fine. So from all the profiles, you get the profile known as my profile. You have to write like this. This was the profile which we had created. Okay, and get profile will return you the object of the class Firefox profile. Okay, so you write over here Firefox profile prof equals to, import the Firefox profile class as well, equals to all profiles dot get the profile. And when you create the object of Firefox driver, in the constructor of Firefox driver, pass this profile object reference. So when Firefox driver will open, Selenium will understand that I have to open this particular profile. So when you run this time you will be able to open up the profile. If I go to the bookmarks, you will see the Google bookmark over here. Okay, this is the bookmark which we had done in the profile. So the profiling will help us later on when we have to download files, manage certificate errors, and do the proxy settings and all. So it helps a lot at that time. Okay, right. So you need to know what profiling is, how it is used. So in the constructor of the Firefox driver class, you have to send the profile Firefox profile object. Okay, right. Fine. Now moving ahead. Once you have suppose opened up Firefox and moved ahead, you have to go to a website. Okay, you move to a website, you write over here, say driver.get to http gmail.com. But over here, after reaching gmail.com, you have to identify elements on the page and work with them. Right. So how do we identify the elements? First of all, in automation, everything on a web page, is known as an object. Suppose if I go to the website msn.com, fine. Everything on this page, every link, every button, every text field, everything on this page is known as an object. The page itself is also called as an object. Okay, right. If you see any two automation testers talk to each other, they'll always have the wordings like object is not found, object is detected, object is retrieved. Okay, right. So yes, you can open if you want, Varun, but we generally don't do it. Is my voice breaking up? Fine. Now, moving ahead. All right. Brinda, just log in once again into WebEx. It's not breaking up so much for everyone. Just log in once more in the WebEx and you can check it out. Okay. So okay. Now, how to identify and work with objects? Like I told you, everything is an object on a web page. Okay. Now, what Selenium does is that it works on the page source. Okay. Every page, if you open up any page, right? If you right click on it, you get the option view page source. Right? On every page you get this option, right? View page source. If you go here, you get the page source of the page. And Selenium works on this page source. You need to understand HTML language. Okay, just have a look when you go back today, open up w3schools.com, study 5 minutes about HTML language, you'll understand. Okay, I'll also give you a brief background. Right, in HTML language there are tags and attributes. For example, whatever is in this reddish maroon color, it's known as a tag. Header is a tag, div is a tag. Okay, h1 is a tag, a is a tag. Every tag denotes certain component on the page. Okay, and every tag can have attributes. This is a header tag. It's got attributes like ID, class, role, data region. These are known as attributes. Okay, this is anchor. It represents a link. Okay, it's got an attribute like logo, href, data entity attributes. This is the UL. It's got no, and these are the attributes. So there are multiple tags, and each tag can have zero. Okay, my voice is breaking.